Hello, mentors. This is meeting 3 about street art. Let's discuss in this video the mathematical properties of the motives. So students will be creating the motives along with the help of the mentors. What do we require and what do we look for? So the motive should be relatively simple. Otherwise, it would take too long to draw because they'll be drawing several times. And also it'd be too hard to maybe compute the area. So we just want them to be created from, say, 2 to 4 basic shapes. And basic is subjective, but we mean things that are familiar and simple, like triangles, rectangles, quadrilaterals that are simple, maybe circles and ovals, a heart, maybe a rainbow. So frequent, common things. The shapes can be overlapping a bit. So here, for example, there's no overlap in this motive, but they could overlap a bit. And of course, when there's overlap, then the formula of the area is not just the sum of these two, but it's an approximation. So that's what we say, that the overlap should be kind of small, so that you can still think of this as a triangle and maybe think about the area. And same here, you could still think of this as an oval, even if it doesn't have the whole curve here. What else are we looking for? Well, very importantly, that it's connected, the motive, so that it doesn't have 2 or more separate pieces, right? And that's important so that the area, it's easier to compute. However, if students do it not totally connected, maybe let's make an example. They want a nice motive that is comprised of, maybe a simple shape. Let's annotate here, like a circle, say here, and they want maybe 2 little rectangles here. That's like a monster or something. Then, they can still work on it as long as it's kind of doable in terms of area and scaling. So this wouldn't be too bad. But if they rather have something more complicated that really begins to feel a little cumbersome, say they have these plus these plus these, then mentors should try to maybe merge these two and maybe connect it a little bit. So use your judgment and anticipation, and during coaching, you'll develop all these skills to help your students into that. Next part, no holes. Oh, so sorry, here's some example of connected, disconnected, right? Because it's separated. This motive is connected, and then this motive is separated because it has 2 components, right? 2 connected components here on the left, and these 2 form just one on the right. The next thing we want for area purposes is no holes, that is totally full somehow, that it doesn't have holes on the inside. So like this shape would be great. This has 3 holes, and then the area computation, it just becomes longer, even if it's doable, because these are easy rectangles. It's kind of long. So what you could do is, okay, in your philosophical design, you could have these holes or even a word or a symbol. But when you're working the math, just pretend that it's all filled out and just kind of work with the boundary and everything that's inside. So color it everything. This has no holes, right? And this has just 1 hole here. Again, if some students are confident and they just want to go for it and, they're pretty motivated, then go for it and say, okay, let's do it with a hole. And if they're capable, they should be doing it. The last recommendation is simplify. If the shape, it's connected, no holes, and made of shapes, but you still think that it's way too complicated, try to convince them or to negotiate to make it a little simpler. Otherwise, they'll suffer a little bit on the math, and it will make it kind of long. So ways to do it: merging shapes into one, removing some elements that are not too essential to the message, right? And finally, just a reminder that students should write a simple slogan or motto that just goes along with their motive to express it. This will be key, especially at the end when there's these murals with the motives, so that we can easily identify these motives with slogans or simple words. 2 or 3 words is enough, but if they want to do some more, maybe up to 8 or 10 should be fine. So summary, these properties, look for them in flexible ways and just reason with students. These are not just set on stone, but it's more like guides for you to have a successful meeting that flows, right? That goes kind of fast in terms of the math. Have fun, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you.